Jenna Stakis is the CEO and founder of The True Empire, a marketing and photography agency, and a podcast host. Today, we're going to hear her story, how she got to where she is, and we're going to hear about what is trending in social media, content-wise, and what type of tools, what are these tools that we can use so that we can level up our social media and our marketing. Welcome back to the Hairdresser Strong Show. My name is Robert Hughes, and I am your host. And today, I'm with Jenna Stakis. How you doing today, Jenna?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's just jump right in. Tell us a little bit about how did you get into doing what you're doing? Just kind of like the high level overview so the audience can kind of get a chance to know, like your vibe basically. And
Absolutely.
yeah, okay.
Edit that part.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. I am Jenna Stakis. I have founded the True Empire, which is an empire for sure because it holds True Media Marketing, True Smile Photography, and the True Talk podcast. Some may know, but I battled some sort of autoimmune disease for about 3 years and was misdiagnosed with multiple sclerosis for about a year and a half. I thought I had this chronic disease, and I was battling so many different neurological symptoms and difficulties. And the biggest ones being that I had tremors in both of my hands. And so I lost that ability to be able to write, and later on developed even a tremor in my voice. So it was more difficult for people to understand me, and I couldn't even speak fast or at my normal pace. So going through that, I learned a lot of different things about myself, about others. I hadn't really found a job where I was happy. I was doing stuff that I didn't even go to school for, and I just kind of felt lost. And so, after doing some soul searching and realizing sharing my story on social media and creating content was a form of art almost. And I love art. I have been drawing for so much of my life. I decided, I'm like, okay, well, why not make this into a job? Why not do this for a living? And photography also being another form of art, that's another way to just, I can't draw right now, I can't write, but this is another way of expression. So I went to Greece. I go to Greece every year. I have family over there. And I was over there, did some serious soul searching, and thought about what I really wanted to do in life, and ultimately decided to take on the entrepreneur journey. So here we are, and True Empire came to be.
Nice. So, your story is so wild, and it's like, did they ever find out what was wrong with you?
No. So I, you know, I'm from Maryland, from Baltimore, more so near the Baltimore area. And I went to the top hospital, Hopkins, and I was going to an immunoneurologist there, um, and did so many tests. And they said it presents similar to MS. So that's what we're going to go with, and the treatments were just making me worse and worse and worse. And it wasn't until I decided to completely stop the infusion treatments of traditional medicine and seek out other remedies. And my family and I ended up finding an incredible chiropractor who practices holistic medicine, a therapy. It's called nutrition response therapy. And in 1 year of being on vitamin supplement regimen, eating healthy, clean, organic foods, and strength training is when my health really made a complete 180 and I healed.
So you're like, it never happened, or do you have any lingering?
Very, very rarely will a tremor show up. It's more so if I'm like sick and your body's just naturally when it's sick, it's just run down. But for the most part, 99%, if not 100%, I'm healed. I'm back to normal. I couldn't be more
That's
grateful.
that's amazing. That's so
Mm-hmm.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we're so happy that you have been healed, and you're here with us today, and we get
Thank
to learn
you.
about some, we get to hear an inspirational story as well as learn about social media.
Absolutely.
So tell us, like, when you're thinking about, this is what you do, and when you're, and I'm assuming, because I feel like that's pretty safe to do, that you're constantly kind of checking on social media, doing the trend checks, and like seeing what
Yes.
the narratives are, and what conversations are happening online that we maybe people should jump on and stuff. So what type of conversations are people having on social media?
So there's a lot of different conversations that go on constantly. And we can even talk about the most recent one of being the TikTok ban. That was a huge um kind of ripple in the water for content creators that have made so much money and have made so much of themselves on that platform. So that was really eye-opening and just something that was awakening for these content creators and people who want to get into content creation, that you kind of have to have that backup plan. You can't always put all your eggs in one basket and think, okay, TikTok's my golden ticket here. You have to make sure you have those backups, make sure you're on other platforms, and your audience is really on so many different platforms. Don't dial in and think that, okay, the only way to make it as a content creator or an influencer or even a business owner is on one specific platform. No. Pinterest is considered a social media platform. I know for my own hair, when I go and get my hair done, I find my inspiration pictures on Pinterest. That's a great way to grow as an influencer, as a creator, as a business owner. And then, of course, always have it backed up. If you're on TikTok, you resurface that stuff on Instagram as well. So that was a big conversation lately in the social media world and community. Um, and the other one is a lot of people are talking about different hooks, how to keep the viewer, how to keep the audience watching, because what we're seeing is that there's a lot of video content. So reels, TikTok being a huge one. And a lot of people get lost in, well, should it be long form video, short form video? What's the sweet spot? So that's where hooks come into play. So for a hook, I mean, it's as simple as putting lip gloss on and starting to talk to the camera. That immediately grabs the attention of the viewer, and they're like, "Ooh, what's going to be said?" So it's very simple, subtle things that people are talking about. Um, but definitely video content is one of the biggest things right now, and bringing in the viewer and your followers as though they're with you. So the behind the scenes content, day in the life vlogs, stuff that you wouldn't think people would want to watch or care to watch. but it's actually enjoyable for them to watch. If you're a salon owner and you've got 2 loads of laundry you got to do of towels, you could do it might end up being a 2-minute recording of you folding laundry, but you put a fast-paced speed on that 1.5, 2.0x speed, and people are immediately hooked. And you just put some overlay text about some some trending topic or something that a client said to you. So it's really cool how you can interact with that stuff, but I would say those are the main things that people are talking about right now.
So, you said so much, and I feel like we should have a whole conversation about some of these things. But I want to point out one of the things you said was, what you were talking discerning between, just long form and short form.
Yes.
I was watching a podcast on YouTube recently, and it's like a bunch of venture capitalists in tech that talk about tech and what's trending and stuff and what they're investing in and stuff.
Hmm.
They seem to think that long form is back, and or no, not back, but like we've transitioned into long form, and for so long we didn't have no one wanted long form for a super
Right.
long time. Do you agree with that statement? Do you disagree? Do you have a different view? Anything?
I think I think they're correct in what they're saying, that long form is making its kind of like grand return. I think that is definitely true. However, it's like that sweet spot that I mentioned. So, for example, for a long time from when TikTok came, it was, or even we can throw it back to Vine, where it was a 3-second video. So think from where we started with video content, for 3 seconds being something that could go viral if it caught the viewer's attention that fast, to now TikTok being at a max of 10 minutes. And I think it's in that 10 to 15-minute mark that's definitely a sweet spot. And I've even gotten that type of feedback for my own podcast, because I have like 45-minute long conversations, 50-minute long conversations. And a lot of people are like, I couldn't listen to all of it at once.
Totally.
So
Well, that's a
it's,
wrap. We're done with the show.
yeah,
I hope
that's
you all
it.
enjoyed
Bye,
it.
guys. Sorry, this is where it ends. Tune in for part two.
Tune in next time for the rest of the conversation.
Exactly, though, because I mean, unless you're getting the people who are, avid podcaster listeners, or they love watching it on YouTube and stuff when they're driving in the car, on the treadmill, cleaning the house. But if you're looking to capture the attention of somebody who's just scrolling through their phone during the day, you're going to have to be somewhere quick in that 60-second to 3-minute like range, because people don't have that much time. But
So,
definitely the 10 to 15 minute, I would think, is a sweet spot.
well, like I have a number of different thoughts. The way this is how my brain takes all that information and processes it.
Okay.
I'm thinking that the longer people spend consuming one piece of content, the less content they're going to consume in total quantity, which means that I make a jump from that to competition skyrocketing, going up, like if because now you're competing, like if the trend is 3-second videos, then well we can watch a lot of 3-second videos. So
Right.
I could watch 3-second videos from 100 people, but and that's 300 seconds. So
Yes.
300 seconds, what is that divided by 60 is like 5 minutes. So
Yes.
like in 5 minutes, what if I only watch one person? That's 100 people that didn't get my view. And if you
And
monetize your following, then that sounds like you're gonna have to produce super high quality, but also like be aggressively competitive, which I
yes.
would then I my brain goes to, well, what is aggressively competitive? That is making super short form, medium form, all in the purpose of driving that traffic to that long pole horn piece.
Right.
That's
So
kind of
it
my brain.
kind
Well,
of
what do you think
it,
about that?
yes, I definitely see your point in that, and that's where quality is going to matter more than the quantity of how many videos you're putting out. So I would say it's better to put out a 10-minute great quality video full of information and stuff like that. And then that will attract the audience and have them grow that relationship with you where they're like, okay, I'm starting to build trust in this person. I trust what they're saying. I like what they're saying. I'm going to try implementing those things in my life, and I'm going to come back for more. And then that's where you get your repeat followers. That's where you get your community, really. And then they're there for your, you know, 30-second video of you folding laundry.
Yeah, I
They
love
like
this.
that. They enjoy it, you know?
Yeah, totally. Okay, so we're saying like high quality is back, which, some people may argue maybe it never left. I would argue that it absolutely was. It was kind of like, cheaply made goods. It's like it was good
Yes.
for a minute, but like the value of it kind of diminished quickly. And so I like the idea of hearing quality is back. That means it's time to step on my game, which is why I got you on the show today.
Thank you. What a
Yeah,
nice
absolutely.
compliment. Thank you.
So and then we also have okay, so quality and shifting to maybe like people might be interested in a little more content or context within your content or information or something. Like if people are interested in, if you can get people to watch longer form video, that's a really interesting opportunity for an entrepreneur who,
Absolutely.
you can kind of look at it that way as opposed to, I don't know, any negative way, I guess.
I would say like one of the biggest, most important things is that sense of community. Um, I just spoke about this at an event on Friday, is that COVID did us dirty. Let's be honest. COVID did us dirty because we lost that human interaction for a while. And it put a lot of fear in us to have that human interaction. And we're finally, over the past 2.5 years, three, we're finally getting that back. And we're finally rebuilding on that interaction. And that's why a lot of people are going to social media, because they want that interaction with the biggest stars. Like, I will give the perfect example of Alex Earl, who has built her following on Get Ready With Me's. She sits in front of the phone, does her makeup, and just talks about where she's going, what she's doing, and that's it. And people are hooked. They are hooked. So it's really about opening your door and kind of like throwing it back to MTV Cribs, like, hey, this is my crib, this is my house, come on in, let me show you, be a part of the business, be a part of the family, be a part of my community.
Nice. I love that. Okay, so we promised the viewers and listeners for some tools to, once they figure out a good idea for a piece of content, what tools should they be using to make this content?
So, when it comes to tools, there are so many. I mean, there's an app for everything you can imagine. Do not think that you have to be forking out hundreds and hundreds of dollars on subscriptions and the newest editing software. It's not like that. If you can record yourself, I'm going to use the towel example again. If you can record yourself doing 2 minutes worth of salon work, and then you download an app that I've used, it's called InShot, free to use. I mean, there's a paid version so that you don't get ads and stuff, but the free version works great. And you go in there and you can just do some simple editing, and boom, you have a great content piece to put out on your social media platforms. Same thing goes with the photo editing. I don't recommend photo editing if you're doing, final products of hair transformations and stuff, because obviously you don't want to mess with the colors. Um, but even going and checking the settings in your phone of the recording. A lot of us have these newer phones out here. I don't even know what phone we're on, 16, 18. uh iPhone, like in 2 months we're going to be on iPhone 23.
Yeah.
But they have some of the greatest quality that you can find on a $3,000 Sony. So make sure you can Google best editing or best video recording um, metrics and stuff for your camera to use. And then making sure that that's going to work with Instagram. So one of the best ones is to record in 1080p with 60 frames per second. So that would be one. And then also, if you do have the capability to do 4K at 30 frames per second, that way you can have some clear slow motion ones if you choose to do, some movement of a final product of hair or whatever the video might be, even you just walking. And then Canva is another site that I absolutely love when it comes to um, blending in different pictures. If you need stories to be able to do those graphics and have fun, you can be a graphic designer just by using the free version of Canva. It's that easy nowadays.
Nice. Yeah, we use Canva for like everything. It's like it got to the
Yes.
point where we just had to pay to for the paid version, and
Right.
like Sammy has like her own like thing, and then we have like a team account, and
Yeah.
that's Canva's amazing.
Yeah, it's
And
great. And you
and
can print from it. You can build your own business cards on there. You can do
when they
gift
got AI
certificates.
now, you can like
Yes.
tell AI what picture you wanted to make. Like we made some flyers and it said, make a group of people in a hair salon hanging out. And it's like, you
Boom.
got to kind of tweak it. You got to be like, hey, make them,
Right.
this group of people isn't very diverse, or this group
Right.
of people, they need to be wearing, like the right, like smocks or something like that. And,
Yeah.
the customer or the person should have gloves on. You have to tweak it, but it's impressive. Like you don't have to go and find the
Yes.
perfect picture. You can tell it how to, because it basically, I think it takes all the elements from all the pictures and can
Right.
piece them together for you.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You can definitely see that in some of the images that AI will make for you. But it's really cool. And then not only that, AI is a great tool. ChatGPT, it's a great tool if you're in a rut when it comes to content. It can help you with some ideas and everything. But definitely, I would still put your own personal twist to it. Give
Yeah.
it the little seasoning that it's gonna need.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with that. My experience, not for what you're talking about using it, but just how I use it, I have to edit everything.
Yeah,
It just helps me with like idea formation, or like if I'm tired
exactly.
and I'm like in a bind for time, it can kind of do the heavy lift for me.
For
But yeah,
sure.
edit everything. Do not trust AI. If you trust AI, it will bite you because you'll put something out there that you regret putting out there. I promise you.
Yes, be
Yeah.
very, very careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this has been great. So like I imagine that there's some people listening that are or watching that are being like, yeah, this sounds great, but like I ain't got time for that. So if someone's like so busy in the salon or in their suite, or maybe they're expanding, opening up, whatever, and they want to up their social media game and their marketing game, I guess I'm assuming that's where you would come in for that. Like, can you tell us a little bit about about what you do or what services you provide and like what that's like and how people can find you?
Absolutely. So, part of the True Empire is true media marketing. We specialize in social media management for influencers, for businesses. And I actually do have a hair salon client. So I'm going to use that as an example. I go in there about twice a month, and I'll be there for about 2 hours, 2.5, and get a good bit of content. So that's going to be, videos of hair transformations, pictures. Um, but being there, I'm able to get the salon owners, the stylists, get them working. I can highlight the different areas of the salon, and then we also have a shared folder so they can submit pictures when they've finished a client. And then I compile all of that and I create the content. I manage the account, post 3 times a week, active on stories, active in community engagement, and keeping up with the trends. Because, like you mentioned earlier, it's constantly changing. There's constantly something new that's going to come out, and no one person, especially if you're a business owner, can keep up with that. So that's where a social media manager comes in handy. They take that stress off of you and are able to get your Google ranking up, get you in that search engine optimization to make your business a little bit more, I don't, I'm trying to think of the word, more present, like being one of the first results that shows up. So it it helps a lot with that. And then we also have that creative eye on how to make sure the technicalities of videos, making the content something that's going to be engaging, capture the viewer within the 3-second sweet spot and stuff like that. But if anybody wants to get in contact with me, absolutely. I can be contacted on either one of my social media pages at Jenna Stakis or at the True Empire TM. And we can set up a consultation call that's completely free. And we do brand strategy, we can do brand design, logo design, websites, content creation, all that kind of stuff.
Nice, cool, awesome. So I'll make sure to leave all that information in the description below. So we'll include any links that you want to send me, and for anybody to contact you, as well as your handles, and yeah, anything else that you want to include. So if you're interested in talking with Jenna, just yeah, use that information, and make sure you tell me how awesome of an experience it was. I'd love to hear from you all. And it's been a pleasure, Jenna. Thank you for taking the time.
Likewise.
It's always nice to kind of get a check-in on what's trending for, especially those of us who might be a neck up in, to-do list items, managing a business, managing a team, or just like life stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's good.
absolutely.
It's good. So thanks for taking the time, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Maybe checking in on the latest trends, and maybe having one of these other like conversations more in depth. I like the idea of having a conversation about the oh no oh multiple platforms, like
Yes,
how should we leverage multiple platforms. I think that's would be a really cool conversation, so
absolutely.
let's talk about maybe doing that or something in the future.
Yeah, I would love to. Thank you so much for having me. I love the conversation. I mean, social media gets a bad rap sometimes, but I love it. I think if it's used correctly, then it is beneficial in so many ways.
100%. All right, well, you have a good one, and I'll see you later.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.